Hi, I'm Eric King. A question I get asked a lot is, how do you tell if a plant is dead or alive? Sometimes, like in the middle of summer, a tree or shrub might lose its leaves, but could still be alive. How do you know for sure? Well, let's break it down into evergreen trees and shrubs and deciduous. Evergreen are plants that keep their needles or their leaves year-round. An example would be an emerald arborvitae or a Cryptomeria. Those are the needle plants. The broadleaved are the camellias, the gardenias. Those plants also have leaves year-round and they're more rounded. We call them broadleaf evergreens. If all the leaves on an evergreen plant turn brown, cut it down. No hope for those. If there's some green left on them, then it might still be alive. So for example, the emerald arborvitae, if you pull the leaves back that are green on the outside, the needles, if you pull them back and look inside, you'll see brown needles that are falling to the ground. That's normal. That's the plant doing its thing. There's no light inside, those needles aren't helping it, so it's casting them off, and it's growing new needles on the outside. That's still okay. Some plants, like the Cryptomeria, will lose an entire limb, or there'll be brown needles on the inside of it as well. It's still fine. You can cut the dead limb off back to healthy wood, cut it back to a fork or to the main tree trunk, and good chance it can recover. Deciduous trees and shrubs are a little bit different. They have the ability, on occasion, to drop all their leaves and then draw energy back from reserves and sprout again. They might do that if they've been transplanted, or it's a dry year, they might be under stress, or maybe it's just a new plant that didn't quite get enough water. If, however, the leaves stay on a tree or a shrub and completely turn brown for a deciduous tree or shrub, cut it down. It's usually the case that when the leaves turn brown and stay on, the whole plant is dead. So remember, the difference is if it drops its leaves, that's a better sign than keeping its leaves. So there are a couple of exceptions to that. The American beech will turn brown in fall and keep its leaves oftentimes all winter long. That's also true with the southern sugar maple. It has beautiful copper-colored leaves that you can notice in a forest in the middle of winter, and it is completely healthy. That's the way it's supposed to be. Here are a couple things that I do as a double check to see if a plant is still alive or dead. Bend a stem. If it bends easily in your hand, it might be alive. If it snaps off, probably dead. There's little buds. They could be either a leaf or a flower, and if those pop off easily, good chance it's dead. But if they stay on and are firm, it might still be alive. The last test, and this is the one I use most of the time, is the thumbnail test. If you take a stem and you take your thumbnail and you scrape a little bit, if it's bright green underneath, it might still be alive. Don't give up. If it's brown, cut it down. At least cut it back to the point where you do see the green, healthy wood with your thumbnail test. I hope these tips were helpful. I'm Eric King, and thanks for watching.